is your message to the people of Ferguson and others who are looking to protest?
Well, I think first and foremost, keep protests peaceful. This is a country that allows everybody to express their views, but using any event as an excuse for violence is contrary to rule of law and contrary to who we are.
Barack Obama there getting out in front of the Ferguson protests, which seems like the buildup has been like, Black Friday here after Thanksgiving. So many previews and commercials. By the way, just as a quick aside, who was he talking to? Was that the first tenor at ABC News?
What is your message to the people of...
How high is George Stephanopoulos' voice? That's a professional broadcaster. Joining us right now, Jim Hoft. He's the editor and writer over at the Gateway Pundit out of St. Louis. He's been covering all of the unrest at Ferguson since day one. Jim Hoft, you seem to always have inside track on things, either with the police department or with protesters on the street. What in the heck is going to happen when this grand jury decision comes down?
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you. Right now this city is so much on pins and needles. Who knows? I think we had this report this past weekend that a couple guys were arrested for illegally buying guns. These were members of the New Black Panther Party. So I think, as a lot of the media has reported, most of the protesters, of course, are nonviolent and just marching. But there's a significant segment that is planning much more than your average protest. Just last night, I put up on the Gateway Pundit about midnight. There was a march in South City near where this Vontarit Myers was shot dead in September. He was also a young black teen who was carrying a gun, fired at police, was supposed to be in his house. He was under house arrest for another gun violation. He had been charged for attempted murder when he was 16. He was 18 at the time of his death. And yet the people are still marching down there for Vontarit Myers. So that was last night. And then after the protest, they vandalized a landmark in South St. Louis. So this, again, was some of these radical anarcho-communists who broke off from the rest of the protesters and went and spray-painted some monument here.
All right, so I read that the Justice Department has sent a bunch of FBI agents. I think I read 50 or so FBI agents down to Ferguson. So what is their purpose? Is it to watch the protest to make sure that the protests don't spiral out of control, to protect the community, or is it to actually watch the police?
I would say the Justice Department from day one has been against the police here, and I would think that they're going to be watching the police. They actually gave some training sessions here in town to the police so that they do better policing. So I got to tell you, though, I'm hearing from a lot of people in the St. Louis area, including some friends of mine who are staunch Democrats, who are just sick of the way that the media has handled this and see right through this and are very upset with what's going on in our city because the national media, the international media, has painted St. Louis as some sort of, like a Tehran or something, some very radical gun-toting town, and it's not like that at all. Ferguson certainly isn't. Ferguson is a functioning community. They made it sound like the ghetto, and so a lot of people are very upset with what's going on and how the media has portrayed this whole incident. And
a lot of people are concerned when you hear people say that, okay, look, no matter what the outcome from the grand jury, we're going to protest. So they're going to protest if indeed there is an indictment against the officer, or they're going to protest if there is no indictment. Are you hearing things like that?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't really matter. These people are going to stay out. They're going to protest every night. They're protesting every night right now. Last night it was raining in St. Louis. They still had a couple hundred marching down in South St. Louis. Marching in the street. So it doesn't matter what happens. These people are going to go out and do as much as they can to stir things up.
Do you? A lot of people said that when Eric Holder flew out there and started talking to the community, that actually calmed things down, and the people of Ferguson started to feel like they were going to get some results, or in some way they felt like they were being heard. Do you think it would be helpful to have some preventative action here? Get Obama in there, get Eric Holder or somebody in there to start talking these people down off the ledge before they go nuts?
That's a good point. From living here when Holder came down and he was meeting with the protesters and talked about how he had been abused too by the cops when he was younger, a lot of people were very upset with that because a lot of the national media had their own spin on the whole thing. The people here in town, though, that I talked to, they were upset that Holder came, and they felt like he was just stirring things up and legitimizing a lot of these, protests.
Right. It bought into the narrative that Michael Brown was, in fact, a victim of police brutality and discrimination.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Ferguson, as you can imagine, I was just up there a few days ago, took some photos. The whole West Florissant Boulevard or Avenue is all boarded up. All of the businesses there. They've all been looted once or twice already on this street. And it's just sad to see this community in such fear right now. I don't think Holder helped the situation at all.
All right, so is this the day that we get the final verdict from the grand jury, do you think?
You know what's so crazy is that, just like you guys have seen this yourselves, the rumors just keep changing all the time. There have been rumors, that Darren Wilson was going to walk. There had been rumors that the grand jury has been finished with their work for a couple months now, but then we hear this weekend that they're still meeting. So it's very confusing. We actually have schools shut down today and tomorrow for the Thanksgiving holiday because they think that the verdict was going to come out. And so the St. Louis County courts, they're doing a horrible job communicating to these communities about where they're at on this whole process, because we got places shutting down and already, and we don't even know if there's going to be a verdict today.
All right, Jim Hoft, he is the Gateway Pundit, and we will keep gatewaypundit.com bookmarked as he always seems to find some scoops over there on what's going on in St. Louis. Thanks for joining us, Jim Hoft.